we're gonna answer the never-ending question of how long does it take to transfer from the glide to the spin? And we're gonna start right now. So the big question, especially from the high school world, we're gliders. I'm gliding, Dane. I want to throw really far. I'm just going to keep gliding. And then all of a sudden, the end of the junior year happens. Everybody gets this itch and you throw 53, 54 feet. Let's say you're a high school dude. Maybe you throw 40 feet as a woman. And then you go, I got the itch. I want to try to spin. And then you go spin for 2 to 3 weeks. And you're frustrated. You're mad. You're taking standing throws and maybe you're only adding a foot with the spin. So then you go back to practice and you're really pissed off. And you take a glide and you throw 5 feet further than your standing throw just to make yourself feel better. And then you go back and you start spinning again. You do that for 2 to 3 weeks. And then the cycle continues and we go back and you get upset, you're frustrated, you don't know what to focus on, and you go back and you try the glide and you throw further. We've got to think, this is a very, very commonplace issue. Okay, this happens all of the time with high school throwers. Every high school thrower dealt with this. I did this 2 times myself when I was in college. So when we look at this, we have to comprehend what is a realistic time frame to transition from the glide to the spin. What are our expectations? How can we understand what this time frame will actually look like? So we're going to answer 3 key questions to help you break down that time frame so that you have a more realistic expectation. So that first key factor is going to go back to how involved in the sport are you? How much film study are you putting into the sport? How much time are you spending in the weight room? How coordinated are you? But really it comes back to how much film study. One of the biggest things personally that I struggled with at an early age is we didn't have YouTube. We didn't have access to cell phones. That's how old I am. We didn't have access to all these other factors that could show us on-demand technique. So that big question comes down to how much time will you put into studying the spin? Will you comprehend what a technical model is with the spin? Will you comprehend the positions you need to hit out of the back, the positions you need to hit in the middle, the positions you hit at the front? And if you want to transfer over to the spin, I recommend actually writing a mini paper, like 2 to 4 pages on, this is the rotational technique. This is what I need to do with my right leg out of the back of the circle. This is what I need to do with my body in the middle of the circle. This is how I need to ground at the front of the circle. This is how I need to finish. And as you're writing that, what happens is that you're writing this and you're visualizing what you want to do. You're visualizing what you need to hit. And at the same time, you're identifying that technical model. Now, that timeline might take you anywhere from 2 weeks to 3 months just to establish what those positions are, just to establish what those positions need to be. That's 2 to 3 months of just full comprehension. And that comprehension will grow and grow and grow as you continue with your career. We have to be realistic with this. But start there first. Right off the bat, you have to identify what are you supposed to be doing in each and every position, and you need to commit 2 weeks to 3 months, I would say at least 30 hours of film study along with that mini report so that you can improve your overall cognitive comprehension of the spin technique. The second key factor is how many days a week are you going to be training? Okay, so oftentimes we'll have someone come in, maybe they don't train with us on site and they want to learn how to spin. They want to improve their spin. They want to get better because they're done gliding. They're sick of it, right? But then they only throw once a week. So then what happens is they throw once a week and they have 2 years of glide technique and glide practice built into their body's neural drive. Okay, so they have 2 years of glide technique built into them. That's what their body's muscle memory is. That's what their mirror neurons understand, is the glide. And then they expect within 4 to 6 weeks that they should be spinning further, okay? And the problem comes back to the total number of throws. So if we can think about, all right, I've had 2 years of gliding and I've taken, let's just say 1,000 throws with the glide, at minimum, I'm probably gonna need 1,000 throws just to try to erase that comfortable feeling I have with the glide. And then what happens is after I get about 1,000 throws with the spin, I'm gonna start to improve and I'm gonna start to see better results. And so one of those things that you can do right away is say, if I'm only throwing once a week, well, throw 3 days a week. You're gonna cut that time into a third with the number of throws for the spin. okay, compared to what you did with the glide. Throw 4 days a week. If you really want to learn to spin, you have to be realistic and recognize that it's very technical. You have to understand those technical positions. You have to spend those 30 hours ahead of time learning what the spin should be, writing that paper down, and now I would recommend throwing 3 to 5 days a week for 3 to 6 months before you really start to question going back to the glide. And while you're doing that, do not go back to the glide at all, because that increases that neural memory of what the glide technique was. So we don't want that to happen if we're fully transitioning over to the spin. Again, 3 to 6 months, train the spin technique 3 to 5 days a week, and understand this is a long process. It's going to take a while, but once you have that cognitive ability imprinted in your body, that's gonna make that transition from the glide easier to the spin. That final key aspect, how many throws are you taking a session? So some athletes will come in, they'll take 10 standing throws, and then they're only taking 5 to 10 full throws, and then they're wondering, why is this not transferring? Okay, so we have to identify how many throws do you need a session? If we're gonna be throwing 3 to 5 sessions a week, how many throws do we need a session to try to erase that? And that's where I would recommend spend less time on the standing throw and more time on the full throw. And what you can do is take 3 standing throws, okay, and then you can warm up with 10 to 20 full throw drills. Just dry sweeps through, dry step throughs, dry walk throughs, even little drop-offs with the shot. You can hold the shot in your hand. You can do 5 to 10 to warm up, feeling that position. You can put circles in the actual circle like we have here, and you can put your foot there, walk through, place that in there. Now you're getting easy reps to try to erase that muscle memory, and then you can slowly build into 20 to 25 full throws, if not more. Okay, I wouldn't go much more above 30 reps, but if you go 20 to 30 reps, 3 to 5 days a week, you're gonna expedite the number of reps that you're getting. The comfort level will start to increase, and you're going to execute at a much higher speed. You're gonna have better technical comprehension, but it's going to take time, it's going to take patience. And while you're doing that, you can focus on those 1 or 2 or 3 cues that you might have learned while you were writing that paper, while you were spending that 30 hours trying to develop what that theory and what that technique is going to be for you specifically. So that's a key concept here, is that while we're doing those drills, while we're doing those full throws, while we're getting those reps in, while we're training 3 to 5 days a week, we also need to continuously develop our cognitive comprehension of the spin technique so that we can constantly enforce good habits. So those are those key concepts. It's going to take you 3 to 6 months to get over the glide, okay, to get fully over the glide. Now, with that being said, a lot of athletes will have a full throw within the first week that's further than their stand, that might even be further than their glide. But that comfortableness and that ability to repeat that every single throw will take time. And just be realistic with that 3 to 6 month time frame. If you're training 3 to 5 days a week, you've spent the 30 hours building up your understanding, your mental capacity around the technique, and then you're taking 30 throws every single day, and then you're taking another 30 technical drills, that's gonna expedite the process, but you have to hold yourself accountable to do that. You can't just go out, throw the spin 2 days a week for 10 reps each day and expect to actually fully comprehend the movement pattern. Make sure you're realistic with those expectations. Make sure you're realistic with those goals, and that's gonna make the transition to the spin much easier. If you guys need help with your spin technique, head over to throwsuniversity.com. You can pick up a technical analysis today. If you need help with your overall programming, we can even build out a custom program to help you drop some bombs. Until next time, peace.